So let me just check our attendance first. Father RJ Byron, Father RJ, Father Alan Bondok.
Present.
Sorry, Daklan and Bondok both are here. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sister Margarita, are you back from Mexico? Okay. Father John Angelo, Father Julius.
Present, Father.
Okay. Father Hugo. Okay, I see you, Hugo.
I'm here.
Sister Richelle. Okay, I see you, sister. Remy. Father Remy. Father Kun Miat Aung.
Yes, Paul, I'm here for but with you, something happened. That's why I could not open, Father. Sorry for that.
It's okay.
But I'm here, Father.
You're here, okay.
Yes, Paul.
Sister Joanna Paula. Sister Joanna Paula. Okay, I see you. I see you there. Bonbon Maxino.
Present, Father.
Okay. Father Leo Nebril.
Oh, present.
Okay. Father Brother Nguyen Mintuan. Nguyen Mintuan. Okay, none yet. Nguyen Van Bat. Nguyen Van Bat, are you here already? Not yet. Zacchaeus. Zach.
Present. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Father Damien, I see you. Sister
Yes, I'm
Joanna
here.
is here also. I see you. Ryan is here. Sister Paula is here. Yes.
Father, I'm present.
Okay. Okay. RJ Byron. Yes.
I had just little problem with the Wi-Fi.
It's okay. And Sister Tranti Big Fung. Okay, I see you, Sister Maria. Father Arwisi. Arwisi, you're there. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, let me share my PowerPoint and then we begin. Oh, Sister Margarita is here already. Okay. Okay. Okay, first, let's begin our class with a prayer. Let's put ourselves in God's presence. Let us collect ourselves and ask for the Spirit's guidance in these next 2 hours of our class. As we learn about canonical legislation on our life as Christians and as religious and consecrated, we ask the Spirit to also give us a reflective heart. It's not just about understanding our way of proceeding, but also having the capacity to reflect also on our own experiences as formators, as members of consecrated life, as persons who accompany young men and women in their vocations. So let's spend a few moments in silence asking for the Holy Spirit's enlightenment, asking the Spirit to give us the grace of the capacity to reflect on our experiences. Together we give glory to the Holy Trinity, glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
So, in this past few classes, we are trying to introduce everyone to what, first of all, to ecclesiology, our own self-understanding of the church. And because within our self-understanding of the church as a communion, here comes in canon law. So what we're trying to do is to introduce you, especially our religious sisters and our lay person, into the dynamics of what is this thing called canon law. Our priests have already, I presume, studied canon law in the seminary, so probably this is a kind of a review for them. And then eventually we will focus on canon law for consecrated life that directly affects our lives. For now, as I introduce canon law to you, we will use different examples, not necessarily regarding our own consecrated life. So in canon law, we have, as we have seen in our last class, by virtue of our baptism, and as soon as we reach 7 years old, that is the age of reason, we have this ability to act, to perform certain kinds of actions within the church, for various reasons, for our growth in our spiritual life in the church, and our participation in the life of the church. So there are certain actions that we are able to do. So that is the general title of this section of an introductory class on canon law, the Christian faithful's capacity to act. So this term, ability to act, the capacity to act, is the capacity practically to exercise our rights. I mentioned to you in our previous class that we Christians, by virtue of our baptism, we have certain rights to in the church. But also, we do not just have rights. Now, we are also kind of subjects of obligations. It is both right and obligations. We have certain prerogatives as Christians, but we are also expected to have some duties and obligations. So when we exercise our rights, and when we act on our obligations and duties, that is what we call the ability to act. Okay, so therefore, for example, we have, by virtue of our juridical capacity, for example, a person, a man who has been ordained as a priest, what is that capacity to act that he has? The capacity to preside and to celebrate the Mass, And that is by virtue of their juridical capacity. Okay, now there are certain conditions in canon law that will allow us as individuals to carry out juridical actions. It's not just anyone who can perform everything. Some persons, according to their condition, cannot perform certain juridical actions. For example, somebody who is not ordained as a priest, cannot preside at and celebrate the Mass because the person lacks a certain condition to be able to perform an action. There are a lot of these examples, of course, in canon law, as we will see in the next few minutes of our class. Now, what are these conditions that will allow us or will not allow us to perform certain actions in the church? Age. Okay? That is very important. As we will see, this is very much relevant in our religious life. So what is the valid age for us to be admitted to the novitiate? You do not admit somebody, a minor, in the novitiate, because there are canonical requirements for admission to the novitiate in terms of age. So this is just one of the many conditions that we have. Okay, so for example, in Canon 97, paragraph 1, it describes what is the age of majority and, of course, the age of minority. So if you have your book or your soft copy, you can try to be more familiar with the code of canon law. Let's look at Canon 97. Okay, I will read the text. Canon 97, paragraph 1. A person who has completed the 18th year of age has reached majority. It's the same naman, no? In our civil law in the Philippines, we become major at the age of 18. Below this age, a person is a minor. Okay? Very easy. Okay, number 2, 97, paragraph 2. A minor below 18, which means 17, no? A minor before the completion of the 7th year is called an infant. So from birth up to 7 years old, that's an infant. Infant, it does not mean baby, a small baby. No? An infant in terms of age. And is considered not responsible for oneself, obviously, no, because the person is below the age of reason, no. Okay, with the completion of the 7th year, now we come across that expression in canon law. I don't know why. Well, there must be a reason why it's a kind of not so clear. The completion of the 7th year. So many students have asked me, what does that mean, Father? Completion of the 7th year. Does that mean at the end of his 7th year, meaning the night before his birthday, his 8th birthday? No. It is when somebody reaches 7 on his 7th birthday. No, in other words. With the completion of his 7th year or her 7th year, a minor is presumed to have the use of reason. Okay, so that's it. Now, in Canon 98, paragraphs 1 and 2, okay, it becomes a little more exciting because 97 is so simple. Let's look at Canon 98. A person who has reached the age of majority, 18 and above, has full exercise of his or her rights in canon law. Okay? Full exercise of his or her rights in canon law from 18 and above, age of majority. Now, let's look at a minor. A minor below 18, in the exercise of his or her rights, remains subject to the authority of the parents or guardians. In civil law naman, ganun din. It's the same in civil law, at least in the Philippines, no? Except in those matters in which minors are exempted from their authority. Oh, there are certain actions in the church wherein, even if they're minors, they exercise full rights, meaning they do not have to depend on their parents or their guardians. Now, what are these cases? Those exempted from their authority by divine law or canon law. In what pertains to the appointment of guardians and their authority, the prescripts of civil law are to be observed, unless canon law provides otherwise, or unless in certain cases, the diocesan bishop, for a just cause, has decided to provide for the matter through the appointment of another guardian. So basically, it states that canon law recognizes certain regulations in terms of the exercise of rights of the government, of the civil sphere. Now, you might be wondering, what is this exemption? No? In what cases are minors, can minors act for themselves without the authority of the parents and the guardians? Okay, one example would be the decision to join a ritual church in the Catholic Church. Now, there are cases wherein we are all here, I think, we belong to the Latin rite. Now, the Roman rite, as we know, our rites, our liturgy. However, in the Catholic Church, there are also Catholics who belong to the Oriental rite. Okay? If a parent belongs to a different rite, but still Catholic, at a certain age, I think the age of 14, then the minor can already decide for himself or herself which ritual church in the Catholic Church she would like or he would like to join. And I think we will see also in terms of certain, for example, in marriage nullity cases, in our dioceses, we have matrimonial tribunals, and in that process, for example, the wife petitions for the declaration of nullity of her marriage with her husband, and they have children. Okay, what is required also, we ask for testimonies. We ask for witnesses. So in this case, uh, children of the minor age can be called in as witnesses. They can act on their own without having to act under the authority of the parent. Okay, so now regarding paragraph 2, we have seen that already. We have seen this already. Okay. Now, in Canon 99, it states that whoever habitually lacks the use of reason is considered not responsible for oneself and is equated with infants. Who are these people who do not have habitually the use of reason? For example, as we see here on the screen, people who suffer from schizophrenia. Okay? People who have this psychological situation, they are considered as infants, no? So they are not capable of making personal responsibility. So in a number of cases, no, because of the lack of the use of reason, and because they cannot freely make a decision, if somebody gets married and suffers from that situation of schizophrenia, then the consent that was given by that person is invalid. Even if the mass was celebrated, etc., but the person was suffering from schizophrenia, even if it is not very obvious, no? I don't know if you have people here who have some psychology backgrounds. Some schizophrenics, they look normal, no? They look normal, but they have a situation, psychological condition, wherein they do not exercise full freedom in the things that they do. So therefore, that consent in marriage eventually can be declared null and void. And then the marriage can be, they can, be free from that marriage. So that's just an example of one who has no personal responsibility because of a psychological condition. So that's age. Number 2, domicile. Domicile is the place of residence. Okay, the place of residence. This is relevant uh, for all of us. No, but in particular, I can think of examples for priests in relation to their capacity to perform the certain sacramental actions within the diocese. Okay, domicile, that is in Canon 102 to 107. So domicile is a stable residence. Okay, what do you mean, therefore, Father, by a stable residence? This time, no, people really move about, no? Especially as religious, we move about, we are assigned, we come here to the Philippines, for example, to study, and then after studies, you're assigned elsewhere, you go back to your country. So especially for us religious, we are quite movable, no? So what is a stable residence? Okay, a domicile is acquired by residents in the territory of a parish or at least a diocese. Of course, that's obvious, no? We do not reside in heaven, or we do not reside in purgatory. We reside in a parish, in a place, in a physical place, with not in an abstract place. Okay. Now, with the intention of remaining there permanently. In most cases, I don't know, no, I don't know. Maybe now, for example, young couples, when they, when they buy a house, I suppose, for example, in Nuvali, because down south of Manila, in that area of Santa Rosa, Nuvali, though they are new subdivisions there, and I heard many young couples decide to buy a house there, a lot, and they reside there. Yeah, I guess even if they are not sure if they will stay there for the rest of their lives, but there is the intention of remaining there permanently and establish a family there. However, it's not that is not the only condition to obtain to have a domicile. Or in fact, the person has lived there for full 5 years. So even like it is or, huh? Okay, let me check the formulation. 102, is it or? Yeah, it's or. So if you intend to stay there, fine, you obtain a domicile, or you actually stay there for 5 full years, even if you did not decide actually to stay there permanently. So therefore, simply put, if you live in a place for 5 years, you obtain domicile. Okay, why is this domicile important? For example, when we have cases of applications, no, in the marriage tribunal for the investigation of their marriage, whether it is valid or not, or what we call a declaration of nullity, both parties are asked, the man and the woman, they're asked, what is your domicile? Because the reason is there will be certain information that will be requested from the parish where you had a domicile. Okay, so we will the tribunal of Manila, for example, will write to your parish priest where you had a domicile, asking for information whether this person were actually married in the parish, and they will also ask. Normally, the marriage tribunal asks for witnesses to be supplied by the man or the woman, by the man and the woman, witnesses to their marriage, to their relationship. But it also allows marriage tribunals to ask for other witnesses who might not have been named by the parties in the declaration of nullity process. So therefore, the domicile is important. Another kind of residence. So first we have domicile. We also have a necessary or a legal domicile. Now, what is this necessary or legal domicile? This is in Canon 103. Okay? Members of religious institutes, a good number of us here, and societies of apostolic life acquire a domicile in the place where the house to which they are attached is located. Okay? So therefore, can I ask Father Zach, where is your domicile? Father Zach, are you there? It states that the domicile is the place where the house to which they are attached is located. Father Zach,
Hello.
where's your domicile? Let's say just the diocese where you are staying.
Laudo Diocese in Kenya.
Lode Diocese. Okay, so that is your domicile because you're assigned there.
Yes, I'm assigned here. And yes, also where our mother house is.
Is there in Lode?
It's in Lodwar.
Lodwar. Okay. So is it possible to have changes in our domicile as religious? Of course, because we can be transferred in another place, no, where we have a house. Okay. Religious acquire a quasi domicile in the house where they are residing according to the norm of Canon 102, paragraph 2. Okay, let's look at Canon 102, paragraph 2. What is a quasi-domicile? Quasi-domicile, sorry. Okay, here. Quasi-domicile is acquired how? By residents within the territory of a certain parish or at least a diocese, which either is joined with the intention of remaining there for 3 months. Very short, no? You can easily acquire a quasi-domicile. Or has been in fact protracted for 3 months. You actually stayed for 3 months. But practically, from my experience, the quasi-domicile does not matter much really. What is important is the domicile, the place of your residence. Okay. Now let's look at 105, paragraph 1, minors. Canon 105, paragraph 1. A minor necessarily retains the domicile and the quasi-domicile of the one to whose power the minor is subject. Of course, no, obviously, the parents or the guardians. A minor who is no longer an infant, okay, a minor is not anymore an infant. So tell me what age this minor is. A minor who is not anymore an infant. From what age to what age?
8 to
8 of
Okay,
to
yeah,
17.
8 to 17. Yeah, 8 to 17. Can also acquire a quasi-domicile of one's own. Okay? A minor who is legitimately emancipated according to the norm of civil law can also acquire a domicile of one's own. Okay, a minor who is legitimately emancipated. Honestly, I'm not sure what this is. I'm sorry. I would think one is free when you reach the age of majority, when you're 18. No, you can already acquire a domicile of your own when you reach 18 years old. Okay, what about spouses? 104. Anyone here has a spouse? Anyone without a okay? Wala, no? I suppose so. Nobody has a spouse. Okay, don't tell me you have, otherwise you'll have a problem. 104. Spouses are to have a common domicile or quasi-domicile, no? So, because they are conjugal, they live conjugally. In fact, they have conjugal property when you are married. Okay, by reason of legitimate separation or some other just cause, both can have their own domicile or quasi-domicile. That's fine. Okay, now parentage. Yeah, this is more exciting than the domicile. Okay, parentage meaning our heritage, no, our parents, our grandparents, our siblings, etc. Let's see how this is relevant to our life as Catholics according to the canon law. Now, there are different kind of relationships of parentage. First, we have consanguinity. Obviously, consanguinity is relationship by what? Relationship
Blood.
by
blood.
blood, sangue, no? In Italian, sangue. Relationship by blood. That's the first one, okay? But also we have a relationship of affinity. A relationship of affinity is not by blood, but by
Adoption.
marriage. The relationship of affinity arises from a valid marriage. Okay, so we'll go into this more clearly. Oh, I forgot. Also adoption. By reason of adoption, then we acquire parentage. Okay, let's start with consanguinity. I hope you will not be too confused with what you see on your screen. Okay, so I don't know if I'm sorry. Do you see my mouse? Do you see it moving? You see the mouse moving around your screen? Okay, good.
Yes,
So
Father.
first, in this column, we have the degree. The degrees of consanguinity. The degree of relationship by blood. First degree, second, third, and fourth. Okay? Now, there are two kinds of relationships by blood. Direct relationship by blood or collateral. Okay, when we say direct, it is descendant, no? Obviously, parent and child, that is a direct relationship by blood. A descendant. The child is descended from the parents. Not only that, no? We all have our grandparents. Each one of us has a grandfather or a grandmother who might still be alive or might have passed away. So therefore, our relationship with our parents, it is a first degree direct relationship. Where we came from directly, our parents, that's the first degree. With regard to our grandparents, it is the second degree direct relationship. Okay? And then as we go on and on, it follows there. No? The third degree direct would be our great-grandparents. Who among you still have great-grandparents living? Anyone still has great-grandparents living? Wala na. Okay, some of us might still have our grandparents still alive. So you see there, the third degree by consanguinity direct are our great-grandparents and so on. Okay. Now let's look at the collateral. Here it becomes not really complicated. We just have to kind of remember and memorize. It's very simple. Okay, brother and sister relationship. Probably most of us, or if not all of us, has a brother and a sister. Some might only have brothers or only sisters. That's fine. Our relationship with our sister or brother. I'm talking about the same father and same mother, huh? Same father, same mother. That relationship is called the second degree collateral. I am related to my brother, Francis, in the second degree collateral. I did not come from my brother. None of you came from your sister. So that's why it's collateral. It's like sideways, no? Ayan. Let's make it a little more complicated. Ayan. Uncle, aunt, no? Think of your uncles, think of your auntie, okay? We are related to our uncle and aunts by the third degree yan. Third degree collateral. Yeah, so therefore ganun din, the relationship between uncle, niece, nephew, aunt, niece, nephew, that kind of a relationship is third degree collateral. Okay? So our relationship with our aunts and uncles is closer than our relationship with our first cousins. Okay? Because our first cousins, okay, let's make it clear, no? What do we mean by first cousins? Because different cultures might have different interpretations of first cousin, huh? Okay, first cousin. Father RJ, in the Philippine context, who is your first cousin?
The children of my aunts,
Okay.
the children of the brothers or sisters of my parents.
Okay, so our parents, no, both father, mother, they have their own brothers and sisters. Okay? So their children are my or your cousins, first cousins, no? Ayan. In the Philippine setting, is there any other interpretation of what a first cousin is? You might know. Anyone? Are we agreed on that description of what a first cousin is? In Tagalog, how do we say it? Pinsang buo. Diba? Unmute yourself. You want to affirm. Pinsang buo for at least Tagalog. I'm Tagalog, no? It means first cousin.
Yes.
But I don't know what is called second cousin in Tagalog. Pinsang hati. Hindi naman. There's nothing like that. So what I just said to our foreign brothers and sisters in the Tagalog, a first cousin, we refer it to whole cousin. Pinsang buo. A whole cousin. A full cousin. Yeah. Is there any other interpretation of what first cousin is in your different cultures? Anyone, please? In Vietnam, is it the same? Sister Mary, is it the same? Unmute yourself, Sister Mary. Unmute, Sister Maria Fong.
I
Okay.
don't know exactly, Father.
Sorry, Sister. What is a cousin in your context? First cousin?
Oh,
Okay, let me ask you. Okay, your father, no? Your father has a brother and sister?
yes, Father.
Okay,
And I call my the brother of my younger brother of my father is cousin.
oh, is he not uncle?
No, Father. Is he the younger brother of my father is the
Is cousin?
yes.
Okay. Okay. How do you call the son or the daughter of that person, of that man, the younger brother of your father? How do you call the child or the son or daughter of that person? Not cousin? Okay.
I don't
It's okay. Father Bat, could you help us? Father Bat? Father Bat? Where's Father Bat? Okay, he disappeared.
Father, I call her is a brother or sister. Call the son of my father's
Younger brother.
the younger is a sister or sister or brother.
Okay, sister or brother.
Yes.
Okay, can we have Martin, Brother Martin Mintuan?
Yes, Father.
Okay, so let me just to verify, no, there might be different ways of interpreting relations.
Yeah. Actually, we also call in Vietnam we call anh họ, em họ. It means cousin, Father.
Cousin. Now, who is that cousin? Describe the cousin. Whose child is that cousin?
Like for example, for the male, we'll call anh họ. That means he is the sons of my uncle or my auntie.
Okay, that's a cousin.
Yeah, the cousin. But we separate distinguish relate female and male.
Okay, fine. So,
Yeah.
for example, your father, no? Think of your father. Your
Yeah.
father has a brother.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you call that the brother of your father? Is he your uncle?
Yes, my uncle. But in Vietnam, we call if he's my older brothers of my father. We call anh. That means my older brothers.
Okay.
Yeah, we say, yeah, in Vietnam we very difficult to celebrate or to distinguish the order for the
Okay.
if you are older different from the elder.
Okay.
The younger. Yeah.
Okay, that person you say older brother, but you do not mean brother, not the same father, same mother as you. That's not the meaning.
Yeah, it's not the meaning.
Okay. It's a term. It's a term that you use. Okay.
Yes, Father. Yeah.
Now the son of that what you call older brother, the brother of your father, the son is your cousin.
He will be your brother, your older brothers, and in cousin, but we call by the name anh họ. Anh
Okay.
họ, that means your older brothers.
Okay.
But if he younger, he is your just your uncle, just your younger uncle, just your father's brothers, your father's youngest brother. Different name.
Okay.
Yeah, different.
Okay, but the son of the brother of your father is your cousin.
Yes,
Okay.
but the son of my father, my brother's father, or my brother's sister, my
Okay.
mother, it's also the cousin.
Yeah, and that person is usually around your age, no?
Yeah,
Okay, okay, fine. Do you agree, Father Bat? Is it the same, Father Bat?
Children of your siblings of different.
Okay, anyway, your sound is not so good. I think you might have some internet connection problems. Okay, but anyway, the first cousin, okay, the first cousin in canonical sense, no, is the child, the son or the daughter of the brother or sister of your mother and father. That's your cousin. Okay. Okay, that's a fourth degree collateral. But also your great grand auntie, your great grand auntie, okay, is also fourth degree collateral. Huh? Great grand, but it's too far away, no? Great grand auntie. So practically it does not matter to us, no? But this uncle, our uncle and aunt, okay, we are related to the fourth degree collateral. Not just first cousins, but also our uncles and aunts. And also grandnephew or grandniece. Okay, yeah, that might not also be too relevant to us, no? But what's relevant is first cousin and the uncle and the aunt. Okay, now the relationship by affinity, it is in Canon 109. This relationship of affinity arises from a valid marriage. Okay? From a valid marriage. Okay, and this is the definition of affinity. The relationship of affinity exists between the married man and the blood relations of the married woman, and vice versa. Okay, so I'll give you an example. The married man is related by affinity to the blood relationship of the woman to whom he is married in the same line, direct or collateral, and the same degree, first, second, third degree, and vice versa. Okay, so my brother is married to Gigi. You might want to think of your own brother or sister. Okay? So Gigi is married to my brother. Okay? So since, okay, I am related by affinity to Gigi. Okay? I am her brother-in-law. Relationship by affinity. So therefore also, my brother himself, Francis, is related to the brother of Gigi by affinity. The brother of Gigi's name is Joel. So my brother and Joel are not blood brothers. They are not related by consanguinity. But they are brothers-in-law. Okay? Because Francis, my brother, is married to Gigi. So my brother is the brother of all Gigi's siblings. Because it is my brother Francis who is married to Gigi. Okay, what is my relationship with Joel? Do I have a relationship with Joel? Joel is the brother of Gigi, my sister-in-law. Am I related to Joel by affinity?
Yes.
Is Joel my brother-in-law?
No.
No. No. It's only Francis, my brother, is the brother-in-law of Joel because I'm not married to Gigi. Okay? I'm not married to Gigi. It is my but you know, in the Philippine setting, we are all related, no? We are all related. My brother is married to this family. For example, the Aguinaldo family. Oh, we are all related to the Aguinaldo family because my brother is married to that family. That's not true. No? Legally, it's only my brother who is related to the relatives of Gigi. Okay? So here, since I am related to my brother is my second degree. No? We are related second degree collateral by some consanguinity. So therefore, I am related to my brother's wife, also the same degree. Second degree, but not consanguinity. Second degree collateral. That is my relationship to Gigi. Okay? She is not my sister, but she is my sister-in-law. So we are related by second degree collateral, by affinity. Now, all this distinction is needed, is important for marriage, as we will see in a while, because there are marriages that are not allowed by relationship, by consanguinity. Okay, so here are the canonical consequences in this regard, no? Regarding relationship by parentage. The office of the Vicar General or the Episcopal Vicar may not be given to the blood relations of the bishop up to the fourth degree collateral. So first of all, what is this office of Vicar General? In every diocese, of course, we have a bishop. And there is an important position called the Vicar General. The Vicar General can perform practically all actions of the bishop except those which pertain to holy orders. So the Vicar General, who is usually a priest, cannot ordain somebody, no, because he's not a bishop. But all other things, decisions can be done, performed by the Vicar General on behalf of the bishop. That's why it's called vicar or vicar, no? Now, the Episcopal Vicar is it's similar to a Vicar General, but he performs certain specific actions for the bishop. For example, one can be a Episcopal Vicar for a certain part of the diocese, or somebody can be Episcopal Vicar in relationship to the religious who are present in the diocese. So what is the rule? That office cannot be given to the blood relations of the bishop up to the fourth degree. What is the fourth degree? Collateral. Fourth degree, first cousins. Okay, so the first cousin of the bishop cannot be the Vicar General or the Episcopal Vicar. So what else? Uncle. Of course, for example, if the bishop has an uncle who is a priest, that person cannot be the Vicar General. Okay, if we look again at the table here, so there. So who cannot be Vicar General up to the fourth degree, up to here, no? So a brother of the bishop cannot be the Vicar General. Okay? Of course, the grandparent, no? How can the grandparent be of the bishop be the Vicar General? Baka patay na, no? He might be dead already. Okay? Now, the bishop cannot have a grandchild. Why? No, we're talking about a real grandchild. Now, because we We might have grandnephews and grandnieces, but a bishop is not supposed to have a grandchild. No, otherwise, the bishop has has a daughter or son. Okay, anyway. So now, okay, so here, uncle, aunt. No, the uncle of the bishop cannot be vicar general or episcopal vicar, up to the first cousin, no? Nephew and niece, all that, no? The reason is, of course, checks and balances, no? We don't want positions in the church to be occupied like in
Family.
politics from the same family. So there is a system of checks and balances. Okay, let's look at other canonical consequences. Okay, so there we saw already. Now, regarding the finance committee, each diocese is supposed to have a finance committee. Persons related up to the bishop, up to the 4th degree of consanguinity or affinity, are excluded from membership in the finance committee. Okay? So first cousins cannot be members of the finance committee. First cousins of the bishop. Regarding marriage, marriage is invalid between those related by consanguinity and affinity in all degrees of the direct line. Okay? All degrees. Whether if you're related by blood, of course, you cannot marry your parent, no? Your mother or father, you cannot marry them. A mother or a father cannot validly marry his or her son or daughter. Who might want to do that anyway? No, it's absurd. No, it's not normal for us human beings. No. What about for animals? Do they do that?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, of course they have no marriage, no, but they have relations, no. Okay. I wonder, no, because there are genetical issues here, huh? There are genetical issues definitely for human beings. I don't know about animals if there are genetical consequences for that. But not only by consanguinity, but also by affinity. You cannot. For example, okay, of course, it's a bit quite funny. No, I told you about my brother Francis. No, he cannot marry his mother-in-law. Yeah, obviously, he cannot because he's still married. No, with Gigi. No. So that's it, no? In the direct line, because Francis is related to his mother-in-law, first degree, direct line, by affinity.
So, Father,
Yes,
so Woody Allen cannot marry his adopted daughter, Sung Yi.
who this is? Woody Allen?
Yeah, Woody Allen, the actor and director, he is coupled with his adopted daughter, Sung Yi. They are a couple now.
Oh, yeah.
But if they were to marry in the Catholic Church, they
Okay.
won't be able to.
Yeah, first of all, no, that relationship is not by consanguinity. Okay?
But by affinity, though.
It is, okay, it's not by affinity also, because
Oh.
he adopted that girl, no?
Yes,
It is by legal. It's a legal parentage.
yes.
We will use that example later, no, when we look at the legal parentage, because there are certain prohibitions for marriage in relation to legal parentage. We will see that in a while, huh? Okay, so now I have a question. Okay, I pray it will not happen. Okay, anyway, all of us will die, no? It's just a matter of when. If my brother, the wife of my brother Gigi, if she dies, okay, can my brother marry Gigi's mother? Are you thinking?
I think yes, Father. I don't know.
Okay, Julius. Is it Father Julius who spoke?
No, it's Father RJ. Father.
Okay, it's RJ. Okay, so you think Francis can marry Gigi's
The
mother?
father. Yes, po.
Why? What is your reason?
Because it is only you who is affiliated, connected to Gigi mothers and not your brother.
Oh, no. Oh, well, my brother, okay, the mother of Gigi is my brother's mother-in-law, huh? Okay, that's a mother-in-law yon. Okay, but what if Gigi dies?
No.
Can he now
But no,
marry?
You
Mother.
cannot.
no,
Still no.
no, Father.
Okay, what is affinity? Affinity arises from what?
From marriage,
From a valid marriage.
married marriage.
Okay, if Gigi dies, are they still married?
Ay.
Marriage is ended.
Marriage.
Okay, marriage ends, no, with death, di ba?
Yes, po.
Yeah, with that definition, it's yeah, technically they can, no? But in terms of what do you call this culture and
Neighbors'
matters in terms
reaction.
of relationships, it's a bit not good, no? But I don't think that will happen in my case, no? In my brother's case. It might, I don't know, in other cases. But anyway, so just an example, just to tickle your mind, no?
Father, can
Oh
I
yes,
ask you a question?
yeah, Sister Maria.
Sister, Father, but how about when your brother and Gigi have the son or the daughter before he died? Before her yes, before one if they have the daughter or the son.
Okay, so yeah, I have nephews and nieces, no? Yeah. Gigi and Francis, he has a brother, he has a son and a daughter, yes. So what's your question, sister?
And when you ask when one of them died and they married with the mother-in-law, and how what happened with they have already have children.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, of course, that's one reason why. That's one reason which in terms of uh yeah, it's not nice, no, for the children for to have that situation, no, marrying the former mother-in-law. Okay, yeah. Okay, so
Father,
yes.
sorry. There has been cases in Samoa. I know a couple when his wife died, he had children.
Okay.
So the wife's sister, which would be his sister-in-law, who never married.
Oh,
So she actually became his wife afterwards, and they had children.
yes.
So yeah, and it's very interesting because I've never sort of so that I would presume that's valid because
Yes, it is.
they're not related.
Yeah, it happened. In fact, I have a case there in terms of my own uncle. So the same similar situation. So married together with two children, and then the wife died, and then my cousin married the sister of his wife who passed away. So these are, and the basic reason there is there's no more marriage with the passing away of the spouse. Marriage ends there. Okay.
And another case, sorry,
Yeah.
in America, my auntie and uncle, they never had children of their own. So, but this was like their second marriage, both of them, and they had a son. I think my uncle had a daughter, and she had a son. And when they got married, my auntie and uncle, their son and daughter fell in love.
Okay.
they're of the same age, and they actually got married. So
Uh-huh.
it was all within this, and I actually found that very interesting because when I found out they were just but they weren't consanguinity, right?
They had no blood
that
relations.
no blood relationship, but I found that so fascinating because I've never, when I heard that their parents married and they got married, so it was all within the family sort of thing.
Okay.
But it was good to understand that.
Yes. So in this case, no, we have here cousins, no? In this second paragraph here, in the collateral line, marriage is invalid up to the fourth degree of consanguinity. Okay, so we have here first cousins, no? First cousins, they are related to each other by the fourth degree of consanguinity. Just remember that, fourth degree, no? It's easy to remember. First cousin, fourth degree. It is invalid. Okay, but there is a however there, no? So in general, therefore, there are general rules, there are exemptions also. So what is the general rule? First cousins cannot marry validly. Do you know persons who, first cousins who are married? Would any one of you know?
Yes, Father.
Okay, let me check this. Could you tell us a little about that situation?
Yes, Father. Because they are first cousins and they validly validly married after they acquire some what is this dispensation?
Correct.
The dispensation from the bishop,
Yes.
to have their marriage in the church.
Okay. Even the son, I think the son of the former Philippine president, Gloria Arroyo, one of the sons, I just forgot if it's Datu or the other one, married his first cousin. So the rule is it is not allowed. It will be allowed only with the dispensation from the bishop. Okay? So why needed such dispensation? Because the bishop has to investigate first. Are they really in love, or maybe they just are getting married to preserve the family estate? No, they're getting married for not for the proper reasons for marriage. So the bishop does investigate in that regard. But part of the investigation is also some medical testing, probably, in terms of, so that they make decisions with full awareness of what might happen if they are related as first cousins to the children that they might have. So, but given that dispensation, then the marriage of first cousins is allowed in the Catholic Church. Okay? So these are just examples. This might not be related to our topic on consecrated life, but that's the way canon law functions. Okay, now another important factor regarding our life as Catholics, the matter of right. No, as I already mentioned to you, that we belong here to the Latin Rite of the Roman Catholic Church. There's also an Oriental Rite. They are prevalent in many parts of India, here in Asia, but also Europe and other continents. So the rite is the totality of liturgical actions and disciplinary norms proper to a particular community, meaning to a particular Catholic community. So we have the Roman Latin Rite. In India, there is what we call the Syro-Malabar Rite. They are Oriental Church. We have also in India the Malangka Rite. We have in Lebanon here a Maronite, right? We don't have a Lebanese student here, but here in LST we have a lay person from Lebanon. She's quite familiar with this Maronite rite in Lebanon. And then we also have what we call a Zairian rite. This is the rite that was approved by the church for the Democratic Republic of Congo, which before was called Zaire. And also in Milano, in Italy, they have what they call the Ambrosian rite. And these, in general, are called autonomous ritual churches. Of course, the biggest would be the Roman Rite or the Latin Rite. Now, through the reception of baptism, a child becomes a member of the Latin Church if the parents belong to the church. That's practically I think for all of us, no? Both our father and mother belong to the Latin Church. So when we were baptized, automatically we belong to the Latin Church. Now, should one of them not belong to it, the child joins the Latin Church if they decide so by common consent. So, for example, the mother, for example, is an Indian belonging to the Syro-Malabar Church or Syro-Malabar Rite. Then the child joins the Latin Church if they decide in common by consent. Of course, we're talking about canon law. So the inclination would be for those in those situations of different rites that they be members of the Latin Rite. Okay, and then if that common consent is lacking, if they do not agree that the child will be baptized in the Latin Rite, then the child becomes a member of the ritual church to which the father belongs. Okay, so there. Why the father? Why not the mother? Yeah, but there, it's the father's ritual church. Now, here is the example I was mentioning. A 14-year-old candidate for baptism may freely choose to be baptized either in the Latin Church or in another autonomous ritual church, regardless of what autonomous ritual church the parents belong. So we have here the capacity of a 14-year-old candidate to choose, no? Which or whether it be Oriental Rite or the Latin Rite in terms of membership in what we call autonomous ritual church. Okay, we have been talking about validity or invalidity, no? Just to kind of refresh your memory and for you to have a clear, a technical, I would say, understanding of what validity is. So now there are
Sorry,
Yes,
little question on the
yes,
rights,
Father
please.
Damien. Yes, please.
The Code of Canon Law, the one we have, the very first number says the canon law, this Code of Canon Law affects only the Latin Church.
Okay, yeah, this is
The
yes.
number one canon there. So
Yes.
I have two questions. Setting that it only affects the Latin Church, does it mean all these rites, Syro-Malabar Rite, Malacan Rite, Maronite Rite, Syrian Rite, all these and so on, they are not concerned by this Code of Canon Law?
Okay. Yes. Thank you for that question. That's important. No. Okay. So this canon law is the law of the Latin Rite. No. Now the Oriental churches, Catholic, they also have their own code of canon law. It is called the Code of Canons of the Oriental Churches. So they in these churches they're all together in one. No, the Oriental churches in India, those in Europe, and even perhaps some parts of Africa, they are governed by a separate code of canon law. Yes. So, Father, does that answer your question?
Yes, it answers.
Okay.
And
Now, okay. Sorry, I forgot to say something. No. Now, for example, there will be situations wherein there will be an interaction between the two. For example, the Catholic Party, a Catholic, marries a member of the Oriental Rite. Okay. Now, in these cases, there is a good deal of coordination, no, between the Latin Rite in terms of marriage and the Oriental rite in terms of marriage. So there will be they follow. It depends where they decide to get married. If they decide to get married in the Latin rite, then they will follow the prescriptions in the Latin rite. No, but I would say they have the same. We have the same rules in terms of, for example, in marriage, the grounds of nullity. We have the same rules for making a marriage valid. Okay. One big difference between the Oriental Code of Canon Law and the Roman, the Latin rite, pertains to the clerics, because they admit married clerics. Okay, so they allow marriage for their deacons and their priests. So then there will be a big difference now from here. Now, Father Damon, you were saying something else?
Yeah. And all these rights, since they have their own code of canon law, and they are under the same pontiff rule, are there?
Okay. Yeah. You said. Yeah. They have.
They have their own. They have their own code of canon law. Are
Yes.
they under the same with us under the same pontiff?
Oh yes. 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 In
And
fact.
they have okay.
Yeah.
With different code of canon law.
With different code of canon law. Yeah. You're right.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's interesting. No, the way in the one Catholic Church, we are not all the same. No. And that's that we see there the richness of the Roman Catholic Church. So they have their own code of canon law. In fact, in their own place, for example, in India, they don't call diocese. Here we call diocese, no, in the Roman Catholic Church. They don't call it dioceses. They call it eparchy.
Eparchy, yeah.
Eparchy. So that's the okay. So we'll continue now here, no?
Okay,
the
thank
term
you.
validity pertains to this reality, no? That there are prescriptions for a law. In the law, prescriptions in the law for actions to be valid. Okay, for us, almost every day we celebrate the Mass. There are situations wherein a Mass can be invalid, in fact, no? Because there are certain prescriptions that are required for us to perform juridical actions to be valid. Okay, these may pertain to the very essence of the action. Okay, for example, consent, marriage consent. I say yes, I do, I do, I do. But there's a situation wherein the person is being forced to get married. No? The consent, by its very nature, by its very essence, requires freedom. But if you say I do without freedom, because you are being forced into marriage, then that is an invalid action. That is an invalid marriage. And these are explicitly mentioned in the Code of Canon Law. Okay? So the repercussion is valid actions produce certain effects. If the consent was exchanged in a valid way, if they fulfill the different prescriptions of the law regarding marriage, then they become husband and wife. In the Holy Eucharist, if we use the proper form, if we use the proper matter in the sacrament of the Holy Eucharist, then there is a certain actual effect that happens. The bread that is consecrated becomes the body of Christ. The wine, properly used as made of grapes, there is a certain effect that happens when we celebrate a valid Mass. The wine becomes the blood of Christ. So that is the idea of validity. Now, however, there is also a concept of lawfulness. Lawfulness, for example, no, it is an action is lawful or licit if one fulfills the prescriptions of the law that pertain to the matters of discipline, order, and not so much to the essence of the action. Okay, meaning these are just the minor details in the law. Okay. Okay, these are minor requirements in the law that does not affect really the validity of the action. Okay, now this is an example. Now we have the English, right? No, English Missal. We have a new version of the English Missal. If we use the old English translation of the Mass is still valid, but it is illicit. Now, because we did not use what was prescribed, the prescribed translation of the Mass at this time. Okay? Is that clear? I think that's clear enough, simple enough for all of us. So that is lawfulness. For example, here in the Diocese of Cubao, okay, some of us belong to other dioceses, no? Father RJ, what is your diocese where you stay? Archdiocese of Cebu?
Davao po, Father. Archdiocese of
Archdiocese
Davao.
of Davao. How about Hugo? What diocese are you working in? Hugo? Are you there? Oh, he's not there. Father Victor, are you there?
Yes po. Yes po.
Okay, what diocese do you belong now?
Paranaque.
Okay. Now, in the Diocese of Parañaque, do you have a celebrate?
Uh,
Do you have a written permission to perform the sacraments in the parishes in the Diocese
yes
of
po. Yes
Parañaque?
po. When I first when I first arrived, I have to apply to the diocese curia, Father, and then they give me the how to say the paper, Father, the allowance. I mean, not the permit. Yes, Father.
The celebrate.
Yes, celebrate. Yes, Father. Yes, yeah. I have to apply through our provincial office, Father.
Okay. Now, that is the basic standard, no, for priests working in a diocese. If, for example, a priest comes to a new diocese without the celebrate, okay, and celebrates a mass there without any permission at all, without permission even from the parish priest, that is an illicit action. Because the rule is we are allowed to celebrate Mass and perform the sacraments in a place where we do not have domicile, where we do not have a celebrate, only with the permission of the bishop or by extension, the permission of the parish priest. Okay? So, but the Mass that we celebrated, the Holy Eucharist we celebrate is still valid, of course, but illicit. Okay? Now, what is the consequence of celebrating illicit Masses? We can be reprimanded, no? We can be reprimanded by the parish. It is within his right. For example, to write to our provincial, to inform the provincial that this person has been coming to my parish without the necessary permission. Okay. Now, that is a kind of a safeguard that is implemented in dioceses all over the world because there are impostor priests, no? There are people who claim to be priests, but they are not priests, no? And so therefore, usually it is connected with the collection of money. Now, to protect and to safeguard the rights of the Christian faithful, now these rules have been implemented in many places. Now, what are the different factors for invalidity? Okay, if there is a defect of the will that substantially affects the nature of the act. So here, for example, I already mentioned the example of a shotgun marriage. If there is a shotgun marriage, I think there might also be a shotgun profession. For example, if you force a sister to profess her perpetual vows by force, not necessarily with a shotgun at the back of her back, but some other forms of force, then that can invalidate that profession because there is a defect in the will of that sister when she professed the vows. Another reason for invalidity is the failure to fulfill the requirements of divine or human law. For example, if you use instead, for example, if you go to a place out in the mountains, you are the parish priest, very newly ordained, and then you became parish priest. You go to a faraway chapel to celebrate Mass, and you thought that your sacristan prepared the complete Mass kit. But you realize when you open the bag There are hosts, fine, but there is no wine. And then you say, "Oh, yeah, I think I will just use San Miguel beer." Anyway, it is also alcoholic. So you celebrate Mass. Is that Mass valid or invalid? Father Ryan. Father Ryan, is that Mass valid? It was an extraordinary situation. You did not mean to leave behind the Mass wine in the parish church. You just wanted to provide.
But I think it's valid, Father.
Mm.
It is valid.
Yeah, because no, no. If in a certain way that you don't have wine, you don't have this uh materials, and it's not but you need to I know to say mass there, but you don't have anything, but you need to
Okay.
proceed. So I think for me it's valid because you don't, the intention is to not to have that
Okay.
materials or the vestments or the things
Okay.
that you needed.
Okay, can I change the question?
Yes, sir.
What if I use Coca-Cola?
No, no.
Valid or
Because
not?
no, it's not invalid.
What's the difference between San Miguel beer and Coca-Cola?
Well, San Miguel beer is, I think, I thought it's ano. Sorry, Father. I thought it's a
Okay,
coconut.
but yeah, maybe you
But
because yeah, San
if San
Miguel
Miguel
beer
beer is no.
is not made
Um,
from grapes, huh? It's not made from
yes,
grapes. Okay.
yes,
If it were made from some kind of grape, no, it might not be the Mompo wine that you usually use in your place. But if you find, for example, kind of a wine from Italy, no, for example, in the place where you are to celebrate Mass, and then you use it, it's still wine, it's still made of grapes, no? Then that is valid. But to use some other things apart
yeah,
from wine made from grapes, that is invalid. Okay.
yes,
So this is just an example, no, of factors that can lead to the invalidity of a certain action. Okay. And the presence of a direct impediment for marriage, no? The marriage of siblings. Second degree collateral, huh? Remember siblings, brother and sister? That is an invalid marriage. There is no dispensation at all from the marriage of siblings. Okay? Now, the principal defects in the will that will render an action null or invalid. Okay, after this, we will have a break. No? External force. Obviously, that can render an action invalid if there is a force from outside of you exerted on you and you are unable to resist that physical action or physical force, then that is an invalid action. Okay? Great fear unjustly inflicted and also deceit, no? If you deceive your sister that by professing the first vows, the temporary vows, you will get healed of your sickness, that is an invalid first vows, no? That is deceit. How can the vow of poverty, chastity, and obedience heal you? Okay? Don't say have faith in God, no, because that is not the way normally normal sickness is healed, no, or great fear. Okay, if you do not marry my daughter, then I will kill all your family members. That is grave fear, unjustly inflicted, no. That marriage is null and void. Okay, ignorance or error, that can invalidate a certain action, no, a juridical action in the church. Okay, now what is an example would be, well, uh, that's why formation is very important, no, so that when our men and women, by the time they profess the first vows, they should know exactly what our religious life is all about, no. You cannot hide some aspects of religious life for them, no. Everything has to be, because remember, these are adults, no? Everything has to be told them. What is the meaning of the vow of chastity? Okay? No? What is the concrete meaning, no? In all its forms? You have to be very clear that it's a violation of chastity if, of course, you perform premarital sex. That is definitely a violation of chastity. No, you cannot tell them, "Oh, if you only kiss, then that is no problem. That is not the violation of the vow of chastity." You have to tell them, no, that action which is a violation of a vow of chastity, impure actions committed by a religious, no? You cannot kind of dilute the requirements of our religious life. Otherwise, there might come to a point of ignorance and error in making a decision about religious life and also with regard to marriage. Okay, invalidity through ignorance. For a matrimonial consent to exist, it is necessary that the contracting parties be at least not ignorant of the fact that marriage is a permanent partnership. Here, that is why the catechesis is very important. No, preparation for marriage. They have to be informed that marriage is permanent. Now, in general, in our country, that is what we know about marriage. But in other countries where divorce is prevalent, no, when even some children or some young men, young women getting married, they don't have any relative who are not divorced. Practically everyone is divorced. They might think that marriage is not a permanent partnership, no? So they should know that marriage is a permanent partnership, that it should be between a man and a woman and order to the procreation of children. They should not think that marriage is just about kind of a business deal. No, it cannot just be between themselves. There has to be procreation of children in marriage. Now, if it happens that a couple thinks that procreation is not required, then that can be an invalid marriage based on the investigation. And there has to be a form of sexual cooperation between the man and the woman. No, okay. It might be obvious to us, but probably in other cases, it might be not be too obvious. Okay, so we'll end here for now. What we tried to do is to give you some some feel of what canon law is in terms of the different conditions of the Christian faithful and how these conditions affect our capacity to make certain actions in the church. So in my watch, it's 3:30. Can we come back at 3:45? So we'll have, as usual, a 15-minute break. Okay, so see you at 3:45. Okay, can we resume our class? It's 3:45. Okay. Are we all here? There are 22 of us online. Okay, Martin, Mintuan, Brother Damien, you're there. Victor, you don't have yet your video, no?
Yes po. I don't know
Not yet.
something
Okay.
wrong. Yeah, something wrong. Yes po. Yes.
Okay, next time.
Opo.
Okay, Zach, are you there? Zach? Or already playing basketball?
Yes, I am around.
Just joking. I'm just joking you. Zach is our former student here in LST. Zach, when did you finish STB?
2023, May.
2023. Or
May,
was it
yeah.
last? No, the other academic year.
Yes, yes.
And then after finishing studies here, you went back straight there to Kenya?
I went back straight to Kenya, I was ordained, and now I'm working in Kenya as a parish priest in our mother house here in Lordwood Diocese.
Okay. I just received an email from our provincial in East Africa. You know, our province in Africa is a East African province. So
And
our provincial is Kizito. So he just wrote that he's sending a Jesuit here to study
wow,
FTB here.
oh, that will be very good.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just not sure from which country he is from, but usually we have Kenyans coming here from
yes, in
among the
our time,
Jesuits.
when we finished, we had Kenyans and Tanzanians who studied there. James Mugwe and Gilbert Laswai.
Oh, Mugwe, I remember Mugwe and Gilbert Laswai also.
Yes, and yes, the two of them are from Kenya.
Here, in fact, we have
I'm from
more
Kenya. One from Tanzania. Laswai is from Tanzania. James
Tanzania.
Mugwe from Kenya. Yeah.
We have here more countries from Africa represented. We have here
Yeah.
from Burkina Faso. We have
Okay.
also from Cameroon, of course.
Mhm.
Also, Namibia. We have a sister from Namibia here.
Yeah. Our community, I think we have 7 students now in
Okay.
LST.
Your
But yeah,
community is MCSPA?
yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, Hugo, are you there?
Yes,
Okay,
Father.
you're there. You're not playing basketball.
No, I don't like to play.
I know. Margarita, ¿cómo estás? ¿Estás bien?
Sí, padre, estoy bien, solo que todavía estoy en México. Son las 2 de la mañana aquí.
Oh, mamma mia, mamma
Sí.
mia. A las 12 de
Sorry,
la
I could
mañana.
not. Sí, sorry, I could not turn on the video for that
It's okay.
reason.
Thank you for
Yes.
your sacrifice being with us at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Thank you,
Okay,
Father.
are you coming back to the Philippines sometime soon?
Yes, Father, and March 19, I will go back.
Okay, good. La Fiesta de San Jose.
Sí, Padre.
Okay, good.
Gracias.
Okay, I'll share my screen again. Okay, so do you see this picture of these sisters playing volleyball on your screen? Okay, so I was
Yes.
searching for a nice picture about religious life, and I saw this picture of, I'm sure these sisters are from Latin America. I don't think they're Mexicans, but I don't know, Peru or Bolivia, maybe. Okay, they seem to have enjoying their time there playing volleyball. And what is the street where they stay? Calle Granada. Okay, the Granada is a place in Spain, no, in southern Spain. So there you are. It's from the National Geographic. So let's start. Okay. Hopefully, everybody's video will still be on until the end of the class. Because I'd like to see you also see your faces while we're having class. So the people of God who profess the evangelical counsels, these are consecrated persons, no? The people of God who profess the evangelical counsels. Now, there are different spiritualities in the church. There are different ways of living out the evangelical professions. Definitely, there's a common strand to the way we live out the evangelical counsels, no? According to the mind of the church. So we will see in a while that consecrated persons is a more general term, and it is the more proper term to pertain to our life, as we will see in a while. So we have gotten used to the expression religious life. And what is the difference between religious life and consecrated life? Okay? We will see in a while that the more general term and proper term is really consecrated life. And the more specific reference to a specific way of life is called religious life. In Rome, there is a dicastery that serves us. No, this dicastery is called the Dicastery for Institutes of Consecrated Life and Societies of Apostolic Life. So these are two ways of consecration as institutes of consecrated life. The other manner, no, of consecration is this what we call the societies of apostolic life. The prefect, as we all know, is a sister, first time in history of the church, no? She is a consolata missionary. I don't know if they are present here in the Philippines. No, I think they are, because I've seen in the Catholic Directory of the Philippines a community called Consolata. They might be the same community. Sister Simona Brambilla, IMC. And guess what? The pro-prefect is a cardinal, Angel Fernandez Artime, a Salesian cardinal. So if you have a prefect and there's a pro-prefect, they're not of equal, if you use the word authority, no? The boss is the sister. She's the boss. Otherwise, the cardinal will also be called prefect. No, but the cardinal is a pro-prefect. So definitely they work together. They should work together closely. The sister and the cardinal. So we have here a picture of Sister Simona Brambilla, relatively young. No, she must be in her 40s maybe or early 50s. Yeah.
She's 60 something, I suppose.
Early 60s, early 60s.
61
Yeah.
or 60.
61.
61, yeah. She just turned senior citizen a year after 60. Good. She's Italian. Italiana.
Father,
She's
Father,
yes,
But
please.
I think while she was giving prefect a cardinal, I was reading. It says in a situation where the office required a priest.
In those situations, yeah.
Yeah.
Father, if
Yes, who's speaking, please?
it's Wilbur, Father.
Wilbert, yeah.
If there is, God forbid, a change in the papacy,
Không, đang nói
will
sắp
this will can she be changed as well immediately, or does she need to fulfill her?
No. Well, during sede vacante, if ever, there will be no changes. There will be no changes. So, if there's a new pope, if that happens, then the pope can do anything, no? So, but not while there is sede vacante. And I'm also hoping that there will be no significant changes from the reforms that has been happening. That it will be carried on by whoever takes charge after Pope Francis. Yeah.
Okay,
Is
thank
that
you, Father.
okay, Bon?
Yes, thank you, Father.
Yes. Okay. So we have here the picture of the Cardinal Angel Fernandez Artime. He is a Spaniard. He's a Spanish. Okay. A Salesian. And I think at the time of his elevation as a cardinal, he was the provincial general, the general of the Salesians. Okay, there. So let's look at Lumen Gentium. This is the Vatican's constitution on the church, no? Lumen Gentium, number 44. Religious are all those who, with vows or other sacred bonds, oblige themselves to observe the observance of the evangelical counsels. So the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So that's what constitutes religious life. Now, before Vatican II, in particular in 1947, remember Vatican II was convened in 1962. Okay. Before that, in 1947, Pope Pius XII wrote a letter, no, Providam Mater Ecclesia. And here, this is the first time that this term secular institutes came out in the official documents of the church. So we have religious institutes, and then earlier on, before Vatican II, Pope wrote about secular institutes. It is a distinct form of consecrated life. Okay. Now let us look at what secular institutes are. So we have religious institutes, like all of us, practically all of us. We have secular institutes also. Okay. So let's look at the document again from Vatican II on the renewal of religious life. In particular, it's in Perfecte Caritatis number 11. Okay, anyone speaking there, please mute yourself. If you're talking with somebody, mute, please. Secular institutes, they have a true and full profession of the evangelical counsels in the world. Okay, is that, who is that? Could you, I can mute him anyway. Who's that person? I need to mute. Okay, it sounds Vietnamese, no? Okay, so there. In the world, no? They have both lay members, meaning, men and women, lay, non-ordained, but they also have clerical members. They live in the world, they live out a secular character of their consecration. Do you know anyone who belongs to a secular institute? Anyone in the class? You might have a friend.
Yes,
Could you let us
Father.
know what group that person belongs to? Who's speaking, please?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Ryan, Brother Ryan. Let's see.
One of our friends are part of the Shalom Catholic community. They are a secular institute founded in Brazil.
In Brazil. What's the name of the group?
Shalom.
Shalom. Okay.
Community.
I see. So are they men or women, this group?
Men and women.
Both. Okay, men and women. Okay. It's the first time I heard. I can look them up just to check.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are residing in the Diocese of Cubao in New Manila.
I see. Okay.
And also here in Novaliches, we have the Mother of Life.
Okay, yeah, that's the one in Mother of Life for those Filipinos who are here. Mother of Life is a catechetical institute in the Philippines. It's quite strong, even especially in the 1980s and 90s. That group is called the Notre Dame de Vie. That's the French, no, of Mother of Life, Notre Dame de Vie. Yes, indeed, they are secular, member of the secular institute. So that Notre Dame de Vie Institute is a secular institute. Sometimes we have to really distinguish because sometimes we have lay people who who look consecrated. They have a different, distinct way of life, but we have to check out actually whether they are actual secular institutes or a society, or what we call um, uh, a community of the faithful, no? Because these two are different, no? Okay. Now, this Mother of Life, I had a teacher before when I was in college here in Ateneo. Uh, she is a Dr. Vicky Parco. She was a teacher in the Ateneo at the theology department. So I was a seminarian when I was in college, and we were here, no, in Loyola House of Studies. We attended classes in Ateneo. And then once, because our refectory, where we eat our meals and merienda, it's a passageway by people coming from Ateneo coming to LST. At the time, she was also doing a doctoral program in LST. So she would pass by, I remember. And then some of us will call her Sister, Sister Vicky, Sister Vicky. And then she would tell us, No, 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 I'm not a sister. Don't call me sister. Because in fact, they are not sisters. They are consecrated with vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience in a secular world, in a secular sphere. They are not religious sisters, no? So in her case and her other companions, no, many of them are teachers. No? They work. I know one in the Xavier School. She was teaching in the Ateneo. They are like other people there, but they are consecrated by the evangelical councils. No, uh, I had one also. I worked with her when I was a junior. She was working in the field of catechetics. No, I remember the late Julia Constante. She was before working in the bank as uh, as Notre Dame de Vie, and there are other of these women who are like leaven. No, they're like leaven, working in the world, permeating the world with the values of Christ. They themselves as consecrated women. Most of the people I know are actually women. Although there is one, a member of the Notre Dame de Vie. He was a philosophy professor in the Ateneo also. And also, I know one, I just learned about him lately. I did not know that he was a Notre Dame de Vie, the assistant to the president of Ateneo de Manila, Glenn De Leon. I don't know, maybe you don't know him, but he is a secular, a member of the Secular Institute. Yes, Hugo, you're raising your hand. Yes, Hugo, unmute yourself. Hugo, are you there? You raise your hand. Okay,
Yes,
anyway.
Father.
Oh, yes, yeah. What's
I
your question?
No, because here in our congregations we are divided in three. No, we are Scalabrinian fathers, Scalabrinian sisters, and secular sisters. No,
Okay.
secular sisters, they have they don't like to be called sisters,
Okay,
but
we
they
don't
have
call them
vows,
sisters.
three vows. They have three vows, and they are living as in religious communities, and they are more living like more than our sisters, no, but they don't like to be called like sisters, no. Yes, I wanted to give this comment. So also no
Yeah,
seculars, because for us it's something confusing, no. They
yeah.
are, but they are not.
Okay. So therefore, really, yeah, I agree that they should not be called sisters. Otherwise, what will make them different from the sisters? No, they are to be secular. No, the sisters are sisters. No, in a sense, no, when we talk about secularity and when we talk about in the world, no, uh, in a real sense, all of us, although we are active in the ministry, we are not really in the world. No, we are not really secular. No, we are still separated by our own way of life. We have our own communities. No, as religious. Uh, but for them to really live out their vocation, they should not look like sisters. They have to be in the world. They can work in the bank. They can be executives, or they can be teachers. They should not be associated with religious life. They are secular. No, sorry, they are religious, no, but they are not secular institute. They are not religious institutes, no. It is still religious life in two forms. The way we live out as members of religious institutes, they themselves are secular institutes, no? So I think that's an important. Otherwise, they lose their character
Yeah.
by transforming them into sisters, no? Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Father,
Yes,
Father,
please.
excuse,
Amen.
the second part of that explanation, they have lay and clerical who live in the world. The clerics there is where
Yes.
I'm concerned. Is it
Okay.
being clerics? Is it the audience or what?
Okay. I know a member. He is a diocesan priest, actually. No, there are two of them, I know. Diocesan priest. They are clerical, no? They're clerics because they are priests. They are also members of the Notre Dame de Vie. Okay? So there are priests, no? Of course, for us religious priests, we have our own character immediately by way of our charism. But there are diocesan priests who try to live out a specific kind of a religious life also, but secular institute. So even as diocesan priests, they live out their ministry with that special charism of the secular institute called Notre Dame de Vie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they will be called priests. On their side, they will be called fathers or something.
Oh yes, they are priests.
Okay.
They are incarnated in their diocese, okay, as secular priests, but
Okay.
living out in a special way the charism of the secular institute where they belong.
Makes sense. Okay.
In fact, one of them, there's a Filipino bishop who passed away about 2 years ago, Bishop Almoneda. I don't know if some of you know him. He was Bishop of Daet. He is a member of the Secular Institute, Notre Dame de Vie. And he was bishop of a diocese in Daet. Normally, when bishops die, where are they buried? Usually in the cathedral or in the cemetery of the diocese. Now, this Bishop Almoneda was buried in the cemetery in Bulacan of the Notre Dame de Vie. And that was his choice. That was his decision. That's how committed he was as a member of this secular institute, Notre Dame de Vie. Okay, so just to let you know, no, there are two
Father,
forms. Yes,
Father,
please.
can I ask, what is the difference between a secular institute and a movement like Focolare?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. No, that's a good question because sometimes it's not very clear, no, from us. Yeah, a secular institute, it is a form of religious life. They profess poverty, chastity, and obedience. In terms of the organization, secular institutes are under the dicastery for consecrated life, no, and societies of apostolic life. Now, ecclesial movements like Focolare, I know the Focolare because when I was in high school, I was active with the Focolare. They have different groups within the Focolare movement. They have priests who live out the spirituality. There are many of them are lay people who live out that spirituality of unity of the Focolare movement. Okay. However, they do not profess the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience within the Focolare movement. I know there are some people who are consecrated within the Focolare movement. They are called the
Yes.
Focolarinos.
Yes, they are
One-
consecrated. I know some of them.
Yes.
Yes.
I know where from my subdivision in Parañaque, she's a Focolarina. She in fact goes out on missions for many years. He was in Beijing. He was a teacher in Beijing. They have a kind of a consecration. I know the Focolares. I don't think they marry. They have a vow of or a promise of of some kind, no, of chastity. Okay, but the technical word that we use is they might have a promise. They might have a promise, specific types of promise in relation to their consecration, but technically they do not profess the evangelical counsels as the vow, because
Okay.
the vow can only be professed by members of the institutes of consecrated life, whether they be religious institutes or secular institutes. So the Focolare do not profess the vows of
Okay.
evangelical councils, but they have a form
It,
of consecration.
yeah.
Yeah.
They make their own promises. Okay. All
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Father.
And all of those promises are in view of their ministry. All of those
Yes.
consecration are in the service of their missions. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so there you are. There are not too many secular institutes I know in the Philippines. No, maybe in the European, American countries, North America, probably they have more of those. So we have here a group of sisters. I found their picture. I was looking for a nice picture. Do you know which congregation they belong? You recognize? They have kind of a specific way of dressing up.
Bridgerton sister.
Huh?
Bridgerton sisters.
Oh, the Bridgetines, correct. Yeah. Yes. When I was studying in Rome, I saw many of them. Their headdress looks quite specific, no? They look like, remember in the Philippines before we had this electrocution, no? Death penalty by electrocution. They would put the here on the head, the electric chair. No,
Perfect.
but I think I saw Saint Bridget, the saint, dressed that way. I don't know what. Do you know what symbol this is?
It's a cross, Father. According to them, it's a
It's
cross.
yeah, it forms a cross. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So these are
Before
the
it,
Bridgetines.
before it was, I think 2 years ago, they already took away that, but it was when their general replaced, it was brought back. That
It was brought back then. Okay, yeah, yeah, good. So let's focus on consecrated life. Let's see the different aspects of consecrated life. So in 1994, there was a synod of bishops that was held. No, it was with a specific topic of consecrated life. And usually after the synod of bishops, the Pope would issue what we call an apostolic exhortation. No, and that's what happened in the past. Every time there is a synod, then in many during a number of the synod of bishops, Pope John Paul II issued a post-synodal apostolic exhortation, and that was in 1996. Now, what does he say about consecrated life? Okay, the religious profession of a person who is consecrated has a special bond, a special and fruitful deepening of the consecration received in baptism. All of us have been consecrated by way of our baptism. Now, the religious profession of the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, it is a deepening, no? A rather special and fruitful deepening of that consecration. In this new way of life, we experience a close union with Christ that already began, no, in baptism. This would now be therefore a kind of a specification of our consecration. Our baptismal consecration was rather a general way of living out the Christian life. And at a certain point in our lives, we decided to make it more specific by entering a religious institute and professing the vows according to the charism of that religious institute. So therefore, when we profess our vows, it is a fuller and a more explicit, authentic. When I say authentic, it means official, no? An official configuration to Him through the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Now, this further consecration in consecrated life differs in a special way from, as I mentioned, from our own baptismal consecration. Now, there are two moments of consecration really that we all experience. First, in our consecration as religious, we have here what we call the divine consecration on the part of God. No? That divine consecration on the part of God pertains to the charism of our congregation itself. The charism of the founder of the congregation that he passed on to us. And number two, the grace that is given to us when we respond in this religious life that we live out. No? So there are two kinds of divine consecration of our congregation itself through our founder, and each one of us is given the grace to respond duly to our specific way, our special manner of living out our religious life. And then that also includes the personal consecration, no? The response of unconditional dedication to seek the perfection of charity in the service of God's kingdom. So we all know what the evangelical counsels are. Chastity. Don't make a mistake, na? It's not charity, it's chastity. Okay? Some might prefer charity, no, but it's chastity, really. Celebrate chastity. So why do we have to put in celibate together with chastity? Is it not enough to say that our evangelical counsel is chastity? Well, it specifies it even more. That as chaste men and women, we dedicate ourselves fully to God as celibates, unmarried, the state of being unmarried. Of course, poverty. Don't make the wrong spelling of spelling that as property. No, it's not property. It's the vow of poverty. Okay. I don't know how true this is. No, there is a saying that the religious profess the vow of poverty and the diocesans live it out. I don't know if that's true. Do
That's
you
a joke.
agree? Huh? Is that true, Damian?
Yeah, it's a common joke.
It's a joke. Oh, you heard about that joke already. I wonder if our diocesans actually agree with that joke. Huh? Who among you are diocesans here? Okay. Julius, you're not a diocesan, ano? Okay.
No, Father.
No, you are a religious.
Yes po.
So you profess the vow of poverty. Okay. Some people do not believe that the Jesuits have a vow of poverty. I don't know if you believe. Wilbur,
I do.
Bonbon, do you believe? Or
I
vow of property?
I I I I saw a post on Facebook, Father, that said that it had a picture of the Jesuit residents in Boston and said, "If this is poverty, please give it to me."
Yeah, it's difficult to explain actually. Well,
Yeah.
but yeah, well, there are different like okay, many people, just to clarify, no, many people think because the tuition fee is expensive, all that goes to the priests, no? Okay, just to share with you a secret that we have. Okay, we have schools, no? Ateneo, of course, expensive tuition fee. Saint Ignatius wrote in our constitutions that the Jesuit apostolic community, okay, should maintain its own funds. The funds of the apostolate is totally separate from the funds of the Jesuit community. So therefore, how do we, maintain ourselves? So here I live in Loyola House. All our salaries or honoraria, it does not give. These are not given to us. These are forwarded directly to the treasurer of the house. And we live on those salaries that we receive. No, LST here, it has a totally separate set of funds only for the school, for the services to the students, and for the teachers. No, so there in fact, of course, it's true in Ateneo de Manila. No, because that's the bigger university. The Jesuits of the Jesuit residence, they the president or the vice presidents there, they receive all their salaries together for that community. There is no way that there is a movement of funds between the university and the Jesuit community. So that is uh, here in Loyola House, no, since we have many scholastics, this is a formation house. So they have no source of income, of course. So because of that, then the Loyola House is subsidized by the Philippine province, by our curia, for us to to live out for the formation of our men. So that's how these two funds are totally separate. They don't go to our pockets. No, itong mga tuition fee of the Ateneans, no, they don't go to the everything goes to the university. Okay, am I defensive? No, I just want to explain. Next. Okay. Oh yes.
Father,
You
I
have
was
a,
going to, Father, I was going to say I can attest because I have a few close friends who are Jesuit priests in the Philippines, and
okay.
I know they don't have any money to carry around. Kawawa nga eh.
Yeah, we don't have bank accounts. No,
Yeah,
and I don't
yeah,
have a personal bank account. It is prohibited for
yeah,
us to have a bank account. If
yeah.
we have a bank account, it's only the institution. So
Mm,
LSD has a bank account. I sign.
mm,
Father Ruhel
mm,
signs also.
yeah,
Yeah. Now,
yeah,
in some cases, the some Jesuits, they raise funds for scholarships. No,
yeah.
but before it was kind of private. No, then until our provincial some years ago regulated the use of those funds. If there are such funds and they are noteworthy, no, they are noteworthy. They are scholarships for poor people.
Mm,
The superior of the house should be a co-signatory. And that will avoid abuses of the vow of poverty on the part of us. No, so that's the way to regulate it. So usually it's both signatures that are required so that the superior knows where the money is going. Scholarship lang ba talaga or somewhere else? No, so that's it. Okay, so whatever we receive, we also surrender to our house treasurer, or what we call the minister. Okay, so we have different ways, no, of living out the vow. Of course, chastity, I think we have the same ways of living out the vow of chastity, I hope. So the Evangelical Counsel of Chastity, embraced for the sake of the kingdom of heaven, is a sign of the world to come, and a source of greater fruitfulness in an undivided heart. Yeah, could you imagine? Could you imagine our religious congregations, our communities, if some of us are married? No. Uh, yeah. So that's it. No, it's really for fruitfulness. It's for our ministry. It's for our mission. For us to be very always available and always ready to serve the people of God. The vow of chastity involves the obligation of perfect continence observed in celibacy. No? Continence means the non-performance of sexual actions, and observed in celibacy. We are not married. No? As I mentioned already to you, in the Oriental Catholic Church, they do not have the law of celibacy. The law of celibacy was applied in the Latin Church. Vow of poverty, Canon 600 of our Code of Canon Law. The Evangelical Counsel of Poverty in imitation of Christ, who for our sake was made poor when he was rich, entails a life which is poor in reality and in spirit, sober and industrious, and a stranger to earthly riches. Okay? So I highlighted in red that as much as possible, we also live out poverty personally. No, not just institutionally. Yeah, I mean, we have to be really very practical. No, if you want to maintain, for example, in our educational institutions, uh, there are funds that are really needed for that. No, you might have a good, beautiful building. No, that costs a lot of money. Yes, definitely. That is for the service of the students. No, it might not look poor, but the individual religious, whether you are an SVD, whether you're a Jesuit or Dominican, we are called to live as individuals, poor in reality, no, uh, but also in spirit, meaning we are not attached to all these material things that will hinder us from fully realizing our mission as religious. The vow of poverty also involves dependence and limitation in the use and the disposition of goods in accordance with each institute's own law. So I mentioned to you already our own practice, but definitely, whatever our congregation might be, uh, our dependence should be on our congregation. No? Our dependence on material things should be to our superior or to the what we call the minister, the person in charge of the material things. No, um, yeah, we can receive things, gifts, no, from our friends, no, but it's a matter of uh, these are just supports, but dependence should be on our religious institute. Otherwise, uh, our vow of poverty will be a contradiction in practice. No, so otherwise you have members of the community who are rich, then you have members of other community who are poor. No, one has his car, the other has no car. Now here in the Ateneo, since there are a number of Jesuits working in the university, there are service cars, no, cars for the president, cars for the vice president. Yeah, so they have they have those cars at their disposition. But when they finish their term, then they have to give up the car. No, it is for the university use. No, so yeah. So the thing there is by our vow of poverty, we are kept united in mind and in spirit in our institute. So that you don't have we are all equal. No, there are no people who have greater privileges, others have less privileges. It's totally against community life. No? Okay, again from the apostolic exhortation of Pope John Paul II, the primary meaning of the vow of poverty, in fact, is to attest that God is the true wealth of the human heart. Precisely for this reason, evangelical poverty forcefully challenges the idolatry of money, making a prophetic appeal to society. You know, I remember we had a situation here among us Jesuits. Of course, I will not say who was involved. So there was this Jesuit priest. You know, as priests, no, even you yourselves in your own religious congregations, you are invited to perform weddings, no? You're invited to different functions. Now, this Jesuit was invited to a wedding in what is that island near Quezon province that you only reach by helicopter. Um, yeah, it's a very private resort, no? Balesin, I think. So fine, okay. He went there for the mass for the wedding, and then what happened was, okay, pictures were taken. He shared it on Instagram, and so it was a kind of when many of us saw it, we were saying, no, you should not have posted that, no, because it does not really, it's not witnessing, no. Fine, you may celebrate mass because you were invited by an affluent family in that place, but there's our vow of our living out of our vow of poverty should be witnessing, no, It is a prophetic appeal, as it were, to society. I don't know if you have experienced that kind of experience, no? Okay, in which in so many parts of the developed world risks losing the sense of proportion and the very meaning of things. So the most exclusive beach resort, the most expensive cell phone, the latest brand of a car that has to be bought, etc. Now, obedience. Okay, the evangelical counsel of obedience undertaken in the spirit of faith and love in the following of Christ, who was obedient even unto death, obliges the submission of one's will to lawful superiors. Okay? Our lawful superiors act in the place of God when they give commands that are in accordance with each institute's own constitutions. Okay, when we were in formation, we were always taught that the will of the superior is the will of God, no, and rightly so. Um, uh, but in responding, no, to the desire and the decision of the superior, we are, all of us religious, whatever congregation, should also open to conversation, no. Decisions are to be made in conversation, in consultation with each one of us, no? And I think that's the best way to do it, rather than doing it in a dictatorial way. Now, it depends also on the openness of our superiors, no? Again, each of our congregation lives out the vow of obedience in a different way. Some superiors in your congregation might just make decisions then without consultation. I don't know how you feel about that, no? But for us, usually there's some. That's why the provincial sees each one of us every year. So if we are 210, every year the provincial has to talk to 210 persons within the year. And during that period of conversation, that's the time when what we say discernment. These conversations are conversations for discernment. The superior getting to know us better, and we try